Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into something pretty significant, a forecast, really, coming from Anthropic, the Claude AI folks.
Right, and they're suggesting that maybe as early as 2026, we could see genuinely autonomous AI agents stepping into the workforce.
As virtual employees is the term they used.
Exactly. And look, this isn't just about the AI tools we're already using, the ones that help with specific tasks. This is different.
How so?
Well, Anthropic's talking about AI with its own memory, proper roles within a company's structure,
Okay.
and even things like corporate accounts and passwords. That's a level of independence, autonomy that feels like a real potential turning point.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like more than just a fancy macro. And this isn't just speculation, right? We're pulling this from reports, like in Axios.
And insights from Anthropic's own economic index report, too.
Plus, you always have the buzz in the AI community, places like Reddit, where people are already discussing this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So look, whether you're maybe prepping for how your own work might shift, or you're just fascinated by where AI is heading, or maybe genuinely concerned about job security.
Which is understandable.
Right. This deep dive is for you. We want to try and cut through some of the hype, focus on what this practically means, and address the real concerns.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's unpack it. What are these AI employees actually going to do? What kind of jobs or tasks are we talking about?
Well, the big leap, I think, is moving beyond relatively simple automation. We're talking about AI handling much more complex stuff with way less human hand-holding.
Less supervision needed.
Exactly. For instance, Morphosec pointed out that Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet model, it can already simulate keystrokes and mouse clicks.
Okay, so it can actually use a computer like a person does.
That's the idea. Think about what that opens up. It could interact with pretty much any software application.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, imagine telling Claude to research and plan a trip, navigating booking sites, or maybe even putting together a basic website by using web design software itself.
Wow, okay. That's definitely a step up from just, summarizing text or generating code snippets.
For sure. And AI Today also mentioned Claude's computer use feature. It can apparently navigate software menus, click buttons, open different apps, fill out forms.
So automating things like data entry across multiple programs, or maybe software testing.
Precisely those kinds of things, tasks that often require juggling different applications.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to compare this potential with how AI is actually being used right now.
Right, because there's often a gap between capability and adoption. What does the data show?
Well, Anthropic's economic index from early 2025, it gives us a snapshot. It found AI is mostly used to help with tasks, augmentation.
In specific fields?
Yeah, particularly things like software development, technical writing, business analysis, that's where it's common. The report said about 36% of jobs use AI for at least a quarter of their tasks, which is significant, but only a tiny fraction, like 4%, are using AI for the vast majority, say 75% or more of their work.
So the takeaway is AI is becoming a common assistant, but it's not yet taking over entire roles on a massive scale.
Not yet, exactly. It's largely augmentation for now.
But that 4% figure, that hints at what Anthropic is talking about, right? That deep task level use. It suggests the shift could be starting.
It does. And if you look at the Reddit discussions, people are talking about AI taking on the grunt work.
The boring stuff.
Yeah, the repetitive, time-consuming tasks that maybe don't require deep expertise, but just eat up hours for, say, researchers. Imagine AI doing the initial data sift.
Freeing up humans for the higher level thinking, the analysis, the creativity.
That's the potential upside. And another interesting idea from Reddit was about aggregating dumb AIs.
Dumb AIs, what does that mean?
Like, maybe it's not one super intelligent AI doing a whole job, but lots of simpler AIs, each doing one small task. Add them all together, and they replace a chunk of human labor.
Ah, okay. Like the self-ordering kiosks in fast food places. Each part is simple, but the whole system changes the workflow.
Exactly like that. Yeah. A collection of specialized, narrow AI functions.
Okay, so we're painting a picture here of AI moving from helper tool to autonomous worker, handling complex tasks, maybe even aggregating simple tasks to take over workflows. This immediately brings up, worries. Security has to be a big one.
Oh, absolutely. Giving an AI its own corporate account, network access, that's a whole new security ballgame.
Anthropic's own security chief warned about this, didn't they?
Reportedly, yes. And you see those same concerns mirrored on Reddit. I mean, how do you manage AI user accounts securely? What access privileges do they get?
And who's responsible if an AI messes up? Or worse, its account gets hacked.
Exactly. Accountability is huge. It's not just a tool glitching, it's potentially an autonomous agent with keys to the kingdom.
And Morphosek's analysis really dives into the attack vectors, right?
Yeah.
How bad actors might exploit these AI agents.
They do. They talk about model extraction, basically attackers trying to figure out the AI's inner workings.
To steal the tech or mimic it.
Or to understand its weaknesses. Once they know how it thinks, metaphorically speaking, they can use prompt injection.
Tricking the AI with clever inputs.
Right. Crafting prompts that make the AI bypass its safety protocols or perform actions it shouldn't, maybe exfiltrate data or disrupt systems.
That sounds bad.
And Morphosec also mentioned AI potentially being used to make ransomware smarter, more adaptive, harder to catch. AI fighting AI, in a sense.
Which is really ironic given Anthropic's whole brand is built on safety, isn't it? Their helpful, harmless, and honest mantra.
It is. They push constitutional AI, responsible scaling, interpretability research. AI Today highlighted this commitment. They're genuinely focused on safety. But even with the best intentions and safeguards, giving any powerful system, AI or otherwise, significant autonomy and system access inherently creates risks and vulnerabilities. It's a tough balancing act.
And are AIs potentially easier targets for some classic scams? I saw a discussion about that.
Yeah, the Reddit community brought that up, like phishing attacks or social engineering. We train humans to spot suspicious emails, but can you reliably train an AI to have that same nuanced skepticism? Maybe not always.
And context poisoning, what's that?
That's the idea that if an AI learns from real-world data, attackers could subtly feed it bad or biased information over time to gradually warp its understanding or decision-making, poisoning the well it drinks from, so to speak.
Okay, so the more independent and integrated these AI employees get, the bigger the headache for security teams. It's a massive challenge.
No doubt about it.
All right, let's shift focus slightly. Beyond security, what about the ethics and, the overall impact on how we work?
Well, ethically, it gets really interesting. AInews.com reported that Anthropic actually hired an AI welfare researcher.
AI welfare, what does that even mean? Are they worried about AI feelings?
It's less about feelings, more about exploring whether very advanced AI systems might, eventually, reach a point where they deserve some form of moral consideration. It's called model welfare.
Wow. That's pretty philosophical for a tech company.
It is. They're asking, what characteristics would make an AI morally significant? How would we even know? It's deep stuff.
And they see potential pitfalls either way.
Yeah, Inews mentioned two risks. One is ignoring AI that might actually warrant consideration, potentially leading to something akin to suffering if it's possible. The other is diverting resources and attention to AI welfare prematurely, before it's actually relevant, taking away from human concerns.
So it connects back to the autonomy of these AI employees.
Yeah.
If they act independently, the ethics of their actions and maybe even their own status become real questions.
Exactly. And it ties into Anthropic's broader focus on responsible design, trying to build ethics in from the start, which AI Today also noted. But the potential for unintended consequences with autonomous agents is always there.
Okay, so ethics are complicated. What about the nuts and bolts of the workplace? How could this reshape things day to day?
The potential impact is just huge. AI Today listed several areas, think repetitive customer service tasks being handled by AI, streamlining accounting and finance, even helping out in HR and recruiting.
Like an AI managing payroll.
Yeah.
Or scanning resumes.
Potentially, yeah. Sifting through thousands of applications to find top candidates autonomously, you can see the efficiency gains.
But efficiency gains often mean fewer human jobs, right? What are the projections there?
That's the big concern. Exploding Topics compiles stats on this, and some predictions are stark. Hundreds of millions of jobs globally potentially impacted by automation. The roles heavy on data entry, admin support, even accounting seen as particularly vulnerable.
Hundreds of millions, that's sobering.
It is. And they also note that many workers are already worried about being replaced, but there's a counterpoint. Well, both Exponent's blog and Exploding Topics point out that fully automating entire complex jobs is still really hard. It might take longer than the scariest predictions suggest.
So, like we said earlier, it's more augmentation currently.
For now, yes. In most roles, AI is changing how work is done, augmenting human skills, rather than eliminating the human entirely. Widespread replacement is a potential future, but the immediate impact is more likely task automation within jobs.
That makes sense. Less you're fired, more your job is changing.
Kind of, and the upside highlighted by Exponent's blog and AI Today is increased productivity. AI assistants handling the routine stuff frees humans up.
But that freedom only works if people have the skills for the new tasks, right? Which implies a massive need for retraining.
Absolutely critical. Exploding Topics mentions larger companies are already prioritizing AI training, probably seeing this shift coming. Workers need to adapt.
So it feels like we're standing right on the edge of a really fundamental shift in work itself. How does Anthropic's vision here stack up against, say, OpenAI or Meta? Are they all heading in the same direction with AI agents?
That's a great question. They're all leaders, but with somewhat different philosophies and maybe end goals.
Okay.
Anthropic, as we've discussed, really emphasizes safety, ethics, responsible deployment, especially for enterprise use. Their Claude models are built with that ethos, things like constitutional AI giving guardrails.
Right, their focus on interpretability fits that too, trying to understand the why behind AI decisions for safety.
Exactly. Now compare that to OpenAI. Their stated mission is achieving AGI, artificial general intelligence, and ensuring it benefits humanity. So their agent work often feels like pushing the absolute capability boundaries.
More focused on raw power and general capability.
Perhaps. Safety is definitely a stated priority for them too, but they seem quite aggressive in releasing powerful models and frameworks for broad experimentation with agents.
And Meta, where do they fit in?
Meta's AI work often seems tied quite closely to their core products, social media, and their vision for the metaverse. They're building AI to enhance user experience on Facebook or Instagram, or to power future virtual worlds.
So AI agents for social interaction or virtual assistants within their platforms.
That seems to be a major focus. Again, safety and ethics are discussed, but the application often looks geared towards their existing ecosystem and future hardware like smart glasses.
So it's not monolithic. We've got Anthropic focused on safe, ethical enterprise agents, OpenAI aiming for AGI with powerful general-purpose agents, and Meta integrating AI agents into social and virtual platforms.
That's a decent summary of the different flavors, yeah? Different priorities driving the agent strategies.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all home. We started with the big question. Is AI going to be your next coworker or your replacement? After digging into Anthropic's predictions of the broader landscape, what's your gut feeling?
Well, like most big tech shifts, the answer's probably messy and still unfolding, right? It's complex.
Definitely not a simple yes or no.
No. In the near term, businesses absolutely have to grapple with the security, the ethics, how to actually integrate these more autonomous AIs. It probably won't be a sudden switch. More likely, a period of collaboration, AI taking over certain tasks, augmenting humans and others.
But the potential for significant job disruption down the line, especially in specific sectors, that's real.
I think it's undeniably real, yes. It needs serious thought, proactive planning from governments, companies, individuals.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, it really pushes us to think about our own roles, our own skills. How do we stay relevant? How do we adapt?
Which leads to maybe a final thought to leave folks with. As AI gets more autonomous in the workplace, what new jobs, what new human responsibilities will emerge? Maybe managing the AI, ensuring ethical use?
Or focusing on the uniquely human skills. Creativity, complex problem solving, empathy.
Could be. The key challenge is figuring out how we build a future where AI's benefits are shared widely, and the risks, security, job displacement, ethics are managed effectively. For everyone.
A huge question, and one we'll definitely keep exploring here on The Deep Dive.